Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Is it all good on your side? It's all good on my side.
Yeah, yeah. So you're Steve?
Yes, Steve Martin. Nice to meet you. And you're Henry. I didn't get your last name, Henry.
Henry Ford stuff.
Henry first stuff. Nice to meet you, Henry. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I just finally feel like all my hard work is kind of coming to fruition.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I know my boss Ben really wanted me to take this meeting. Can I ask how do you know Ben?
Oh, I love Ben. Ben has been a longtime customer of mine at Martin's Trucks and Stops, which is an incredible food truck. If you haven't had it, I've been around for a long time in the LA area. And I've been just sorry. There's just actually a text from Ben right now asking how it's going. And I think so far, it's going great. So
Oh, that's great.
actually, I got some of my tacos right here. Some of my famous tacos. We do a lot of traditional tacos, such as carne asada or adobada or anything like that. But we can also do some more like, you know, we also kind of go experimental. We'll do chow mein tacos. We've done hamburger tacos. We pretty much anything that you can name, we've done a taco version of that.
Yeah, yeah. Could you stop talking about tacos because it's actually close to lunch and you're kind of making me hungry.
Oh well, I'm so sorry. I'll quit talking and I'll show. Actually, they say
Oh.
showing is better than telling. So look at these, delicious, huh? Delicious
Yeah,
tacos.
they're great tacos. They look great. They're making me hungry, I'll say. But yeah, they look like great tacos.
Would like to pitch you on this idea of Cinco de Mayo, and it's all about a corn tortilla. It's all about a
Uh-huh.
corn tortilla
Yeah,
that is
I
in
see
the
the
land.
tortilla. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, got a corn tortilla right here.
Yeah.
Who is the youngest of a family of flour tortillas.
Right,
Right.
right.
And so the corn tortilla then has to travel to the land of Masa. And the land of
Oh,
Masa, which is what corn tortillas.
I see the tortilla. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
corn tortilla, just a visualization. And normally I would show you the size of a corn tortilla because it's often smaller than a flour tortilla, but I don't want to ruin these perfect tacos.
No, they look like great tacos. Yeah, they're
Which is
fantastic.
actually $2.99 for one each, which is incredible. And then if you want to get a side of rice and beans, it's actually $9.50, which is I feel like is actually a really good price. But I digress. Um, so this small corn tortilla, which is the runt of the family, travels through the land of masa in order to become a big flour tortilla. And along the way, he meets some interesting characters, goes through trials and tribulations, and realizes that he himself is enough.
Interesting. What would be the log line for something like this?
The log line.
Yeah. A log line, like, this story is blank meets blank,
Oh, yes. A story of log line. Okay. Well, this story is the story meets Cinco de Mayo and Taco Day.
Right, but generally meets comparisons. They involve a story archetype and a setting. Like what would be the story archetype for this, and then what would be the setting followed by that?
I see. Okay, so this story meets corn tortilla, land of food.
Corn meets Land of Food.
Yes, corn meets land of food.
Um, interesting choice. Honestly, to me, it sounds more like kind of Jim Henson's Labyrinth meets Sausage Party. Because it's like an
Oh,
epic.
sure. Yeah. That's a great. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Okay,
Yeah.
so okay, great. So uh oh uh um what's the mouse moving the Russian mouse that comes on the boats.
Amer
An
Five
American
O an
Tail.
Amer Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 5 an American Tail meets Nacho Libre.
Interesting. So it's like a tale of immigrants against Mexican wrestlers who are also food.
But the wrestling is with the insecurities is on the inside.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. I see where you're going. So let me ask then, what exactly are the five movie moments for this story?
Um Moments of emotion, moments of can you explain it a little bit further? The five movie moments.
Right. Well. One of the formats for pitching is specifically the five movie moments that are cinematic that makes this something that would need to be a film rather than a play or a podcast, your giant wall of fire, your city of catering. That could absolutely be a movie moment if it's big and shiny and reflective. You see what I mean?
I okay, yes, I do see what you mean. Well, obviously we have the first moment, which is the tortilla land, the tortilla land. We
Right.
obviously have the ending, which is when they get to the land of Masa, which is kind of like a long spiritual journey amongst instead of a desert, it's obviously flour masa. Um, and then we have the river of blood, which is going to be displayed as kind of like Jamaica, which introduces me into the love interest.
I'm sorry. I'm
Uh,
sorry. Can we take a step back here? You say
yes.
river of blood. What is a river of blood doing in a children's movie?
Okay. Well, the river of blood kind of translates to the connectivity between a person and their culture, such as that.
Oh,
Such as that my blood is connected to ancestors of Mexico, such as your blood might be to the ancestors of. I know you're giving me Irish.
yeah, I've gotten Irish before. I'm not Irish, but yeah, I've gotten that before.
Okay, well, you can play along for a little bit. Yeah, you could be such as you given to that. So the river of blood is more of a connectivity, a metaphor for one's connectivity to ancestry.
Okay, I'll play along. We've got a river of blood, and I'm Irish. Okay, we'll play
Yes.
along. So does it need to be blood though?
No, it doesn't need to be blood. I was thinking Jamaica, but the river of blood thinks it just gives more. I don't know. It's just more intense. Introduces, which I think is a big five movie moment, which is the love interest of this film. The love interest, which will be met at the river of Jamaica or river of blood,
Oh
which is a young girl who is also insecure about where she is in her place. Which she is a small cup. She's a small cup in a family of
Oh,
large cups.
I see. Small, like a physical drinking cup.
Yes, a physical drinking cup.
I thought you were referring to something else. Okay, sorry about that.
A small cup of what? What would the small cup be?
Nothing at all. Nothing.
Oh, okay. So she is a small cup of, you guessed it, Jamaica, and it'll be played by Salma Hayek, which will be known as Salma Jamaica.
Right. So who exactly would the target audience be for this?
Well, I think I think it's clear that Latinos, but it could go across anything. I mean, it could be kids, it could be adults, it could be moody teenagers, it could be old people that are close to dying. It could be anything. It could be anybody. Just as my food truck has supported the community of
Li-
LA and different people, different people of all walks and races and everything like that. The Toy Story and all those things. You pause the movie and there's a little rocket ship at Pizza Planet.
Right.
I think it would be great to have a little, I don't know, floating down the river Jamaica. They're standing on top of a Martine's food truck,
Right. Right.
or like
And
sketched into the mountains of Masa. There's 9.99 for a large Jamaica with rice and beans and 3 tacos.
you would want Martine's food truck 9.99 special carved into the mountains of this animated children's film.
Just for a brief 2 seconds.
Right. So what kind of tone would you say the film would be? Like what's the beginning going to look like?
Well, he kind of, you have this young corn tortilla who really is just this kind of happy go lucky guy. And he has his, obviously his big flour tortilla family. And one day when he's walking through Tortilla Town,
Mhm.
a large burrito and his gang of enchiladas or rolled tacos. I'm willing to be, flexible on that. Though, our rolled tacos do sell a lot better at our food truck, and the flautas actually do a really good job. So okay, so it's a big burrito with flautas that are next to him, and this corn tortilla gets bullied. This corn tortilla gets bullied bad in front of the whole entire town, and this big burrito kind of runs the town too. And he goes home and he's crushed by this devastation of being embarrassed in front of everybody. And his flour tortilla just kind of explains to him that, look, you're a runt, you're never going to change. You're a small tortilla in a big tortilla land. That's just never going to happen. So obviously, this is the inciting incidents to which he must travel to the land of Masa to become a bigger tortilla. And along the way, he starts to, immediately outside of that town, he hits tortas. he hits tortillas, which are another gang that is notorious around the Land of Masa is massive and everything like that. And he hits tortas, which are also bullying. And that's when he runs into the River of Blood, which is dark and
Oh
creepy
boy.
and kind of more run down. It's a lot like the Battle of Puebla, which again is Cinco de Mayo. What boy doesn't love a battleground? And he comes across, and it's the Battle of Puebla, and he's going down, and he is seeing the victoriousness of Mexico beating out the Third Reich, or not the of
The Third Reich? Oh, there are Nazis in
not
this?
no, not the Third Reich. No. The regime of the French, which will be represented with tortas versus or we could choose I think maybe beans or maybe not beans, but we could.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like if you're talking about the French, like wouldn't it be better to have them represented as like crepes, you know?
Yes, I agree. Crepes versus we'll do crepes versus, I think, tortas is better in this case. And he travels through there, and it's a land of disarray and mess. And then through there, he after going through some battle moments and helping actually defeat the crepes and finding his love, Selma Jamaica, they travel together and get to finally the beautiful land of Masa. And I think they could travel through. They would be through a canoe, which I think would could represent an empty shell of a fried taco, a physical taco, which would be, I think, would be
Okay, that's actually cute. I like that. You know, a little hard shell taco as a canoe. Yeah.
yes, a hard shell taco as a canoe that that has cannons attached to it. Yeah, cannons that have that are like shaped as jalapenos, and those jalapenos shoot out seeds. And then yes, okay, we could have that. Yeah, okay, go roll with me here. And the taco is floating down the river of blood and shooting out seeds at different crepes. And the crepes are, obviously we have sweet and savory crepes, but the crepes are kind of, shooting out different chocolate sauces after that. And kind of think of that as like a Saving Private Ryan kind of moments, that kind of intense battle scenes.
An intense battle scene in a children's movie between crepes and tortillas on the River of Blood.
Yes. Or tortas. I think,
Right.
we could have that. I mean, we could have a lot of different foods. I think that could represent.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, Martin. This is
Martine.
sorry, Martine. I saw it. Oh, your name is Steve Martin,
No,
according to Zoom.
it comes off that way. I think a lot of it is Steve Martine,
Got it, Steve
which
Martin.
everyone keeps talking about Steve Martin. I don't know who this guy is, but people keep relating to me to him.
Yeah. So what exactly does the Land of Catering look like again?
So again, it's a massive like a city of emeralds. There's a lot of shiny, bright new objects, and you kind of travel through and you go through a land of you start to go through the land of corn and which are like actual stalks of corns, and behind that is a house, kind of like a cottage looking style house that is made out of a cannabis plant.
Oh boy.
And it's a big nug of cannabis, and you open the door, and and it smells like obviously it's kind of smoke is coming out of this house, kind of like a storybook, how you'd imagine that. And that's where you meet Cheese and Tong, which is obviously played by Chichinjo.
Um. Uh. Yeah. That's. I don't think that's gonna work for our audience, Steve. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna be able to move
Are you
forward.
saying I think the pipeline from Disney viewers to adult smokers is actually pretty evident? Would you not say so?
I mean, look, I'm not gonna critique what Disney adults do in their spare time, but like, it's just not really our brand for kids, you know?
There's a lot of, like you said, a lot of moments of whimsicalness that could happen within this movie, which again, which you guys never heard of. You guys haven't heard the title
Uh-huh.
yet, which is I think one of
What
the best parts.
what is wait, are you wearing pants?
I am wearing pants. Sorry, no, yeah, yes, I'm wearing pants.
Because it looked like you were not wearing pants just a second ago.
No, my foot was cramping. I apologize. No, I'm wearing
Okay.
pants. I'm wearing shorts actually because we're
Okay.
we're working so hard on the food truck, so it's kind of
Yeah.
it's a little bit hard, and they just need the most amount of flexibility.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So you said the title was the best part?
Yeah, title of the best part, which is going to be Cinco de Martin's food truck.
Oh boy. Thank you so much, Martine. I appreciate you coming in, but I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a pass for us. I appreciate you coming in. It was a really interesting pitch, but it's not gonna work for us.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity. And though I think this is a big, massive loss on Disney's parts, I really appreciate your time, Henry. And I think that anytime you want to come around and get some beautiful tacos, which they taste so delicious, which actually, I mean,
Yeah,
mm, mm, I can't believe it. $9, $9 for two tacos and rice and beans, and if you want to upgrade to a large Jamaica, on me anytime.
thank you, Martine. I appreciate it. You have a good one.